Just win forehead, yep. Just pay $20 for your fucking entry fee, forehead. Just save up $10 more. Come on, guys. Y'all have jobs. Y'all can save up the money from not eating a meal, right? All right, let me stop subbing and like start finding fucking tweets. All right, so in case everyone doesn't know, Saturday, Sunday, this past Saturday, Sunday, there was a tournament called Electric Cancel, and it's primarily a Tekken event. So they play a lot of the current Tekkens. Well, the current Tekken. They play the current Tekken as the main tournament, and then they have all the other like side tournaments. So it's like there was a Tekken 5 DR. I believe there's a tag. I believe there's a bowling segment. I had to double check that. I think they also had Caliber at Electric Cancel. They also had Virtual Fighter. I think they primarily had most of the heavily touted 3D fighting games. I think DOA was on there as well. I'm pretty sure DOA was there as well. So there was, I forgot that Via did this, but there was a $20 buy, like you pay $20 to play Tekken 7, and there was 203 people there, which isn't bad, right? Because there was roughly $4,000, a little bit more than $4,000. There was, I guess Via did top eight payout. I think it was, the consensus was top eight gets paid out, not like top three, because normally it's top three, which is a lot of people don't have an issue with because we've been doing that forever, right? Top three gets paid out. And the breakdown is this: first place gets 1,624, second gets 730, third place gets 530, fourth gets 446, fifth gets 243, say, and then seventh gets 121. So roughly, this is a little bit. Actually, that's way less than half, right? Yeah. So first place got 40% of that. 40%. First place is already getting 40%. So the consensus is that first place should not get a huge majority of the winnings. The majority of the winnings should go from first to eighth, depending on how much money there is, a lot of people say. So the biggest issue that a lot of people have is a situation like this is that people who make top eight should get some sort of compensation, right? No matter what size the tournament. So paying $20 is a big boon as opposed to paying $10. Because if you pay $10, this is automatically a $2,030 pot, and first place would get half that. So roughly they get 800 and some change if you paid out top eight. The way that's alleviated is that you just make it top three, and first place gets 70, second place gets 20, third place gets 10% of the pot. No, and after third place, nobody gets any money. That's how it normally works. So for whatever reason, a lot of people are up in arms saying, what about fourth place? What about fifth place? What about seventh place? And there's a lot of counter arguments saying that depending on the size of the tournament, you can boast that you will pay out top eight. But it depends on the size of the tournament, and it also depends on the amount of money that goes in there. So normally a $4,000 pot shouldn't really be split between top eight if there's only 203 people. Like, it has to be within the amount of attendees for the tournament. So let's say there was, I don't know, let's say 500 people. But, well, no, let's say this was 400 people and it was still $10. So it's roughly the same, right? But it's more feasible to pay out top eight because there's 400 people as opposed to 200 people. But because it's doubled for the entry, because you have 203 people, you can pay out top eight because it doesn't look like shit. So my biggest issue with this is that I generally am of the belief of, if your tournament for whatever game you have has, I'd say minimum 500 people for your tournament, I think paying out top eight is a good discourse, because at $10 an entrant, that's, you just have $5,000. If you just go based off of 500 people, $10 is $5,000. You can do the same thing and it's not an issue, right? You can still pay out top eight. First place still gets roughly like almost to that, like right under $2,000, and that's okay. But then a lot of people are saying that, yo, what about fifth place? Why doesn't fifth place get like 300 some odd dollars for getting fifth place at a 500 man bracket? It's like, generally, If you're entering a tournament, you're trying to make it to, winners, losers, or grand finals, because that's the only instance of the tournament where you're getting 3 out of 5 as opposed to 2 out of 3. Because there are some instances where one mistake determines you from getting to fifth place to fourth place to third place, and that's the same for from third place to second place to first place. But it's like we generally have had said that like putting more money into the lower end kind of takes away from the top end, and a lot of the top players don't want that part diminished. But they would just like, if it's 1,000 person tournament, top eight should get paid because, maybe one or two of the really good players fight each other early. They get knocked into losers early, and they get stuck at like fifth when they could have made like third or second. It's just that at certain events, that doesn't do anything. All you're doing is making it so that the people who consistently make top eight get more money. That's all it is. It's like you're doing nothing to improve the experience of the tournament. All you're doing is this extra $10 goes to these 1%. I see the Smash community is interested in higher buy-ins fees for prize distribution. IMO, it would work better for this community since there are less crossover games for Smash versus FGC centric events. For this instance, I agree because FGC events are like you can have 6 main games, right? So if you put $20 at 6 main games, that's $120 you're spending just to register for those games. You spent $120 just to register for those 6 games. Now the counter argument to that is people will say, "Hey, why not just enter less games?" So going from 6 to I don't know 3 is the same cost, right? So instead of playing 6 games at $10, you're playing 3 games at $20. It's still good, right? But why should you have to pick which games you want to play when you want to just play a tournament and have fun? I thought this was about having fun, not lining the pockets of the 1% once again. Yeah, but I want to play 6 games, right? Exactly. Why should I have to play 3 less games because you want $10 more added to this pot for this game? So let's say Mortal Kombat thinks they should get $20 ahead as opposed to Street Fighter who wants $20 ahead, right? So now you're gonna have those two communities say, "Yo, your game is not worth $20. My game is worth $20." You're gonna get that at some point, right? There's no way you're not gonna get that. Alex Valle did a whole poll about this before Electric Hanson the poll signed off on it. So it was the people going to the tournament who were okay with it. Okay, that's fine. The thing is, I think a lot of people want it in general. I think a more like if you're not asking the community, then I don't think you should make the change. Something to think about. $20 buy-in, blah blah blah. $50 buy. Okay, see like this difference? See this stark difference here? So if you want to play one game, most people are saying, okay, let's make it $20, right? But then there are people who are saying, people who are at like the top, who make top 30 something, who are saying, hey, why don't we just make this shit $50? Because I'm only gonna play one game. I'd rather pay $50 to get in to play in this tournament. And then people were thinking, hey, if we get like 200 something people, that's like 12K. If that's 12K, maybe if I get fifth place, I could get like 1,000 something or like close to 1,000. This seems like a really good, return. I pay 50, I get almost 1,000 back. But these are people who have a really high chance of making top eight. For your average person who wants to go, for your average person who either doesn't get out of pools altogether or gets out of pools and loses right after, this shit is terrible. Like I'm paying another $50 just so I could like get to this point in the tournament and see this fucking top player. Well, I shouldn't say it like that because I shouldn't say top players because like it could be like people like JDCR, Saint, Arslan. Like those people are probably okay people, but there are certain other people who have like voices pretty heavily, and you're just like get the fuck out of here. Yeah, if you're paying over $20, then that means this is a like invitational type thing where we invite 20 X play like 20 top players of this like a Street Fighter. Let's say there was 20 Street Fighter players off of the ladder that were invited to a tournament, and then everyone else who wants to enter can pay $50 to play those people. Okay, that's fine. You're paying $50 to just play those people in the tournament. I wouldn't want to do that for each tournament I wanted to enter. This kind of skews going from 20 to 50 to 100, this is just like, you wouldn't say 100, right? Would you be willing to say 50? No, not 50. All right, 20. And then you look at 20, you're like, okay, 20 is not so bad. Because he's just throwing, it feels like he's just throwing these here to be like, yo, don't you want the people at the top to get more money for like flying all the way out here and doing well? It's like, wait a minute. What if the top players are already sponsored, so they don't actually have to spend any of their actual money? What if their teams, what if their organizations are giving them like a paycheck in, in lieu of also playing as well? So like they get a paycheck for being on the organization, and then this is like their extra money, you know? They go to a tournament, they get top three, they get that's their money that they get from the tournament, and then they still get the money from the organization. You're paying out top 32. See, that's my other issue. It's like if you're paying out top 32, you're doing like very small percentile incrementations. So if this ever happens for whatever reason, then I think it wouldn't be $100 buy-in. I think it would be like 1,000 people enter, but this 100K it comes from like a sponsor. It comes from like Dell. It comes from Coca-Cola. It comes from AT&T. It comes from Verizon. This money would not come from us because I don't think anybody would be willing to say, "Hey, I'm going to enter 1,000-person tournament, pay $100, go O2 and be okay with that shit." Left him complaining about a prize not covering his flight, hotel expenses when all that was exactly like if Leffen was not sponsored, I would understand that. Like I would understand Leffen having to pay $1,000 to fly out of his country to come to the U.S. to play, and then not making the money for his hotel and his entry and his food and all that shit. Still wouldn't sympathize if he didn't have a sponsor. What about dudes like me who go to events to play the game they enjoy, have fun a weekend with the goons, and possibly get paid from a win? Exactly. Yeah, so the biggest argument that I have so far is what School Bus just said, is that like you go to a major, your primary for most people, your primary directive at a major is to hang out with the people that you haven't seen in a long time, play games with a lot of people that you don't see, and get different experiences. Your your number one for most people, their number one directive is not to win the tournament. It's to have fun and hang out and chill. The tournament is a subsequent experience that they have while they are there. The tournament helps like what's the word I'm looking for? The tournament helps like compound the excitement that they're having with their friends. So it's like the tournament's there, your friends are watching you play, you're watching your friends play, you're getting hype. They might not do well, you might not do well, but like you enjoy the whole experience because like the money that you spent to enter the tournament is not giving you the immediate money that you spent is not giving you some sort of negative connotation. So like you're not obviously when you buy the flight you're like, damn, I'm buying this flight, but like I'm buying this flight to hang out with my friends. I'm paying for this hotel with my friends because we're cutting the costs. There's no cut costs when you pay an additional $10 to enter a tournament where it's like, damn, that actually feels a little bit bad to enter a $20 tournament and then you go to you're like, shit, that felt kind of bad. Like a lot of people do have that thought of like, man, I paid this much just to come out here and go O2, and then most people will come up to them and say like, you're supposed to be hanging out with your friends. They're like, yeah, you're right. Like a convention, something like that, yeah. Just being surrounded by people with similar interests is such a wild thing for me, and I absolutely love it after all the years of having nobody to share interests with in person. See? So, like, a lot of us, the reason why we go to tournaments and stuff is because, like, we don't have any immediate people, for the most part. We don't have a large group of immediate people who we hang out with, like, in group chats and voice calls or whatever. And, like, those people you talk to or whatever, they might not be in your same state. So when you go to a major, you like hang out, like you're making the commitment to go to that major to talk to those people and hang out, and then playing games. And playing games is like, all right, cool. I want to play these people because I don't know this matchup, or I can't wait to see this person play because I wanted to play them because I don't want to play net play anymore. If you go to these, do you have to pay the entry fee in addition to the tourney fee? Yes. So if you want to spectate, there's a separate fee. Wait, let me hold on. Yeah. So if you want spectate is different. Spectate is its own fee. If you want to enter the tournament, you have to pay like usually it's $10. $10 for whatever game, right? Maybe some side tournaments are $5. You pay that. There's a registration fee that varies anywhere from like early bird being like 40 to super late reg to be like 60. Usually, how the breakdown goes for most tournaments is this: it's, let's say you do early bird, right? That's 40. You enter a game. That's another 10. Well, actually, most people that I know enter minimum 2 games, so that's 20. What else is like another expense for traveling? So let's say you have to buy your plane ticket. Yeah, 4 months in advance. You want to go to Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker is Memorial Day weekend. Let's say it's just 350. Let's say you get lucky, 350. So that's round trip. Hotel. Let's see. Let's say you have a friend, or you yourself, you get the deal that comes with the Combo Breaker deal for getting a hotel, and you get like the 2 beds. And let's say you have just 4 people in the room, so two people on 2 beds each. What did I do last year? Last year, I think mine was. I think mine last year was 450, let's just say 460 to like make it even. So now, let's say you need to take a Uber to uh, to airport, to slash from airport. So there we go, to slash from airport. And let's say there's no like shuttle or whatever, right? These 4 things I think are like the primary. But yeah, these 4 things, those are the like primary. Actually, no, the Uber is probably part of primary. Yeah, let's go with Uber. So these 5 things are the primary like portion of going to a tournament. So let's say you have to Uber to and from the airport. Most times I think it's like, if you're lucky, it's like $20, but I think on average it's like 30. So it's like 30 plus 30. So let's just do that. Like, you get from the airport to the venue, and from the venue to the airport when you gotta go. Where you at? Now, here's all the other stuff. Food for the weekend. Let's say it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament, right? Don't most people room with other people in hotels? Yeah, I guess I'll say this now. Uh, split, split 4 ways. So instead of this being 460, it's actually, yeah, let's do 4. So it's like 125. Yeah, 120. You spend 125. Let's just say you have the money, you spend 125. Someone give me a situation where they went to a major and like what their food was like. Normally when I go eat, this is what I do. I always eat with people. So the minimum I'm spending a night when I eat with people, I think, is like 25, depending on where we go. Maybe 20. Maybe I'm spending 20. And if that's 3 nights, that's 20, 20, 20. So for 3 nights, that's $60 for food for me. Because most likely I'm only eating dinner. I'll eat, well, no, there's other like small food too. I'm not gonna lie. So let's say coffee, 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 and like water. Like that 20 is water for like the whole weekend. For me, this is me. This is me. This would be me. So I'm already spending like, I'm already spending $100. Sick. Yeah, $5 coffee. Yeah, I'm not buying. I'm buying Starbucks coffee. 110 at DreamHack ATL last year. See? Hold on. You get free water. I buy my own bottled water because some places water from the fountain is like, is sketch, mad sketch. Yeah, yes, I buy Starbucks coffee. Sue me. Metro? There's nothing wrong with being Metro in 2019. So for me, this is what this would look like for me if this was a 3-day tournament and I bought food. This is me going out one night. This is me going out another night. This is me going out another night. And this is me buying coffee and water. So like $20 is like on the low end because I typically don't spend only $20 when I go eat food. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so that's food. That's just like average food. Another thing at tournaments, merch. So how many of you buy merch when you're at tournaments? Like legit shirts. You go to artist alleys. You buy stuff from legit vendors and shit. So how much is that just merch at a tournament that y'all buy? I need like reasonable answers. Because I know I've seen people just go ham. It's crazy to me how people don't eat microwave foods and spend crazy money on KBBQ, but can't spend $5 on game entry. Uh, LDJ. The thing is with that is it's a whole compounded thing. There's certain limits you put to everything, and 20, going from 10 to 20 doesn't seem like a lot, but it does seem like a lot in the grand scheme of if you go from 10 to 20, then there's going to be more people who are at the bottom end of the top half who are like, yo, why don't I get more? Make it 50, so that way instead of like $200, I'm getting like $600 for getting like seventh place. And people all the way at the very bottom going O2 are like, yo, why am I paying $50 just so you can get 400, 500 more dollars? Fuck out of here. Like, you got seventh place, fuck out of here. You're supposed to be down here with me. That's how a lot of people want that to work. 150 at Sea Taco. See, that sounds about reasonable. Is 50 ham? 50 is not ham. If all you spent was $50, then either the stuff you bought was really small, or you bought one really big thing that was $50. Maybe you bought one really big thing that was $100, like you bought a stick, or you bought like an art commission, or you bought an expensive piece of merch. Like, that's what I'm getting at. Because I know people who don't spend too much money on anything else, but when they go to a certain event, a vendor is there or an artist is there, and they're like, yo, I need that. Need that. That's $5 less I can spend on food. Exactly. Like, me going through this is just like the process that everybody has to go through, but then there's like the very specific, if I go from 10 to 20, what's stopping top players to ask for events to go from 20 to 30, from 30 to 40? There's nothing stopping that when it's like, hey, y'all can save 30 more dollars and enter this tournament, and I can get more money because I placed seventh place. It's like, no, fuck you. It's supposed to be There's supposed to be like a flat amount that everyone can enjoy their experience. And if you want more money and you're on an organization or on a team, what your team or organization should be doing is talking to, once again, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Red Bull, fucking AT&T. What else is there? Someone help. Sony. Like, get them to be involved so that they can give out pop bonuses. So that way they give out $5,000. You split that between top 8. There's your fucking money. One percenters. Fuck out of here. Pornhub. You can't do that. Stop that. Maybe I sound like a hippie too, but isn't the idea just to foster community around a game everybody loves? The only reason you have to buy into the tournament in the first place isn't to make profit, is to ensure the tournament can happen again. Theatrics. That's more or less the whole argument. Is if you're, a lot of people are saying if you're in the fighting game community for money, then you're in the wrong community for money. You need to be playing CS:GO, Overwatch, Dota, League, Call of Duty, Halo, Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering. Like, go there if you want real big boy money. Fortnite, Rainbow Six, exactly, exactly. Top players can ask all they want, but supply and demand is the thing. If they make the price too high, no one will come, and then they don't make anything. I don't think top players can actually price us casuals out because they can't afford to. Exactly. If top players got, let's say there's invitational events, right? If top players really cared about money, they would be fighting for invitational only tournaments. So let's say during the time like Combo Breaker everyone goes to, there's specific events that are just for like the top 20 in the Street Fighter, the Capcom ranking league, the Pro Tour league. Like, if you're within this ranking, you can go to this tournament. And this tournament is, you will get a pot bonus from Capcom. So like, let's say Capcom is like, this pot is $10,000 and only 24, 36 people show up. That's it. You fight out for that. I'm pretty sure nobody would have an issue with that. Nobody. The top players get their money. Everyone who's not paying to go like enter that tournament doesn't have to pay like $50, and they can watch from home, or they can go to the event and watch and hang out with people because they're like, yo, this is gonna be a spectacle. I can't wait to see people kill each other in the game, in game, in game, in game. Don't ban me. Getting signed to teams like that, they'll give you a salary. Like, all you're doing now is you're winning the tournament, so people will be like, yo, this dude won this tournament. This team must be really good. and you get a little bit, you get extra money on top of whatever your salary is. Our top players spend a lot of time to be the players that we love to watch. The least we can do is help them be able to make a decent living. The problem with that is if you want to make a decent living, you should not be playing fighting games. You should be either getting yourself into a real organization, get yourself an actual job, or some sort of like part-time job to where you can go play at tournaments as well. Or I don't know, go talk to big companies because like that's not how that's gonna work anymore. Like the top players shouldn't get more money just because they're the top players. They should get more money because they've supported the community in some aspect. They've given back to everybody who said, "Hey, because you've paid $20 for this event, we're gonna make sure that this tournament is run better. You get more setups. The setups work. Every venue is 24/7. You can come back to the same place next year because a lot of tournaments that happen one year they don't show up again next year because why? There's not enough money in the tournament. It all goes to the fucking players that want it. You don't have proper internet, so you can't watch streams. There's no sponsors. There's no space. You can't get hotel blocks. What else is there? The hotel staff will not welcome the TOs back because they don't have the money to pay for the space and rent it out. Like that's not our job. Like we're paying to like get into the hotel, play for the weekend. We're not supposed to be giving extra money to top players just because they play the game good. They press buttons good. No. Invitationals are awesome, you agree, but I'm talking about open brackets too. Open brackets is separate from the invitational. The invitational you get 10K split between top 8 from 32 people who had to fight it out. Open bracket, I shouldn't have to pay $50 to enter open bracket tournament. Like, and there's like 4 or 5 games I might want to enter. You telling me I should have to pick one game at $50 because the other 4 games are $50? That's not how that works. I like paying for tournaments at locals because I love having stakes on the line. Yes, but are you willing to now pay $50 for 4 separate games? So you're paying $50 for Sam Show, $50 for Tekken, $50 for Dragon Ball, and $50 for Street Fighter, all in the same event. You're now paying $200 just to probably not make it out of your pool because like that's not even good gambling. That's very weighted die against you. Top players were bad players at that point. That's true. They were bad players. But that doesn't if that was the case, there would be a lot of really good players, like a lot. There's a lot of like mid-level players who are okay, who do well when the top players don't show up. But if like the number of top players don't really show up, then the mid players kind of like get to eat sometimes. I haven't seen top FGC players come out with the mindset increase entry for everything, unless you can show me examples of why everyone is angry. They haven't said increase entry for everything. It's just increase entry for a specific game. That's like, hey, Smash is separate. Smash is its own thing because it's either Melee, Smash 4, or sorry, Melee, Ultimate, and then like whatever else they have. Usually it's like 64, and maybe doubles. Maybe doubles is like $20 a person for a team, something like that, some shit like that. Yeah, well, Smash isn't a part of the FGC mainly because Smash has a major every other weekend. They get actual sponsors. They have actual commercials built into their shit. They have actual organizations for most of their players. What about $20 a game? 20 then my issue with $20 a game is it then becomes a lot of people stop and say, "Hey, if I'm registering for a game, I'm registering now." There's no at the door, I saved my money. It's I don't know if this tournament will be $10 or $20. You'd go up to 30 for majors. So you're telling me each game at majors should be $30. Each main game at majors should be $30. So most people who sign up for a game, so let's say it's Street Fighter, Dragon Ball, Sam Show. No, there should be one more. Tekken. So it's four. So 4 games at $30. There are some people who enter all 4 games. Like they just want to play all 4 games at a tournament. So that's $120 for that person. There's literally nothing stopping people from saying this instead of 30, 40. There's literally nothing that's stopping them from doing that. Tekken has commercials for Kwamba and Astro all the time. Yeah, like there's no incentive for you to pay $10 more other than that like this like top 8 gets more money. And like I don't have a real chance of making top 8. Paying $30 for each game. That's bad because what's stopping you from paying 40? What's stopping you from paying 50 in like 2 years? Like why is that money going up when nothing is changing? Like literally nothing is changing. Like I'm giving out $30 more per game for nothing to change. How about 15 entry, 5 for each extra game? The thing is, the what you're trying to implement is that it's already. What I'm saying is to register is average registration is $50. That's your average registration. The amount of games you pay for is like 10 across the board. The registration paying for is paying for everything that's not the game. So you're paying for your TO to have money to get the hotel, to get internet, to rent equipment, to pay their staff. I know I'm missing some more stuff. Like I'm missing some more vital stuff. Like that's all I can think of at the top of my head. That costs way too much fucking money. So like paying $30 for a game that doesn't go to making anything better doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't think it should go up to 20 only because I know people will be like, "Hey, we went from 20, why don't we go up to 30?" Cuz that's what's going to happen. If someone can disprove to me that we will not go from $20 to $30 within a short period of time, then I'll be like, "Sure, whatever, you got it." But there's nothing. All I see is that people will keep asking for more money without anything improving. So if the argument the tournaments need to be better, then yes, agree. But the idea that they can just up the price infinity is false. If they price the lower levels, there is no tourney. Uh, LG, are you trying to say that if there is more money to enter games, that there won't be people? That's what I was saying. I was saying that that's not good. I'm saying it's not good. I'm saying that if more people find that the tournaments to enter just the games cost more than they used to, they'll stop entering, and then top players won't have their fucking money. Instead of like a 500-person tournament, it might be like 150. Like what? Reducing the value of a tournament to the amount of the players pool is silly. Exactly. And where the money goes, I think that would have people more willing to pay out. I agree, but they don't have a reason to be transparent. Because maybe they're in so much debt that people will see that and be like, holy shit. Like maybe you should stop running tournaments. Maybe you should just like do something else. You don't have to run tournaments. Did I watch Electra Cancel? The production value was pretty fucking good. That's cool and all. That's cool, sure. But that's not from entering the game. If you're okay, maybe I'm not clear enough. If my registration has to go from $50 to $70, that's fine. I know what I'm paying for. If the game entry is going from $10 to $20, what is that paying for? It's just giving top players more money. It's doing nothing else. Increase entrance fee hurt multi-game specialists more than anything. Exactly. So like there's additive cost. It's not all. It comes very slowly. Like it doesn't just all happen at once. It's like very slowly. What about when entry is the same price as the game itself was brand new? People are gonna complain finally then, yeah. But this idea that if they up the price once, they can just do it again, infinity is false. That's not false because people will then say, just save $10 more. Go to $20. Just save $10 more. Go to $30. Just save $10 more. Go to $40. Like that's the line of thinking that's gonna come out. Like because it's possible doesn't mean it won't happen. What if the entry price goes up? There's an incentive for those who enter more games. If you enter 3 games at Electric Cancel, you get a free shirt. So $60 gets me a shirt? That shirt better be like Gucci quality or fucking Abercrombie and Fitch or some shit because there are almost no shirts that cost straight up $60 at an affordable price, like at a decent name brand. So if I'm paying $60 to enter 3 games, it should be something like you're entered into some sort of like raffle or something, or like it needs to be a better incentive than that. What if it gets you a gas card? How much is on the gas card? Like if I'm entering 60 games that total up to $60, if my gas card comes out to like $20, cool. That's nice. If some TL wants to be that stupid and price themselves out with that type of business model, let them be stupid. That it's just bad business. I think you're confusing the fact that like. So what I'm saying is the prices of the game should not go up if there's no quality of life increase in the tournament. So let's say, because again, registration and entering games are separate. They're two separate things. When you register for a tournament, you're paying for the TO to have the money so that they can rent the hotel, get the internet, pay their production staff, that stuff, right? So I think what you want to say is they should increase the registration so they can make the tournament better. But then you also want the top players to get more money, which means that they would have to get money from somewhere. Where are they getting that money from? Am I paying more money into the game? Or am I paying more money into registration, which then goes into the game? Is that it? Or what's going on? Like, we need sponsors if we want that to happen. Tournament winnings is RNG though. Yeah, tournament winnings is like, it's gambling. It's essentially gambling. To a lesser extent. Red Bull has the meal voucher incentive as the sample for playing the registration. Yeah, Red Bull has like you get free Red Bull, you get meal voucher, you get free swag, you get free shit. Like, and it's not even like 20, it's not even like $30. You pay like $10, you get all that. You get free Red Bull for the whole day. They have free water. They have a meal ticket where you can eat like, decent meal. You get free stuff. There's a chance to win more free stuff with the raffle. It's like, all right, if I'm paying $10 for all of that, that's fucking cool. Take out of the pot? Yeah, exactly. You take it out of the pot that uh, I'd be willing to pay more if the payout was more spread out. That's fine. I said that was fine. But I also think that goes back to the number of people who entered. So if you have a 200 person tournament and you're paying $20 and you're splitting that to top 8, I don't think top 8 deserves to be paid out at a 200 person tournament. I think 1,000 people you pay out the top 8. Like it should be proportionate to the amount of people who have entered. That's what I feel like. Fruit sponsors do grow on trees. We need sponsors like Smash. We need just sponsors. We need like Red Bull we need Red Bull, Sony, Coke, Pepsi, Fiji, Poland Spring, fucking Adidas, Nike. Just throw me like one of those sponsors who like $250,000 is nothing to them because it is nothing to them at the end of the day. But whatever. Just get more sponsors, Forehead. Get some celebrity to come. No, I don't need a celebrity. Like the celebrity can get the fuck out of my tournament. Just put put more money into the pot so I can hear it stop. I can stop hearing top players bitch about this. I'm tired of this shit. Most sponsors for PC games. Exactly. Again, you're playing the wrong game if you want money. I don't think it really matters what price goes as long as the money is used properly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Paying the top players getting more money is not proper in my honest opinion. More money towards the TOs to do more things to make the tournament better, that's proper usage. More space for the tournament, more setups, better internet, better production, better staff, better hotel. That's important. I feel like yes, top players are a draw, but they're gonna show up anyway because they want to play the fucking game. They're not trying to play for like, oh, I need to win this $5,000 tournament. It's like what? Like their organizations probably pay them fucking 3 times that within a month. 1K for top 8 is like rent. Yeah, like I'm going to a tournament so I can pay my rent. What the fuck is that? Like why are you playing in a tournament to fucking pay your rent? 50% of that 10K is first place. Exactly. Like half of 10K for first place. That's not bad. Like you're good for a little while. The Chris G stuff. Can we do both with a reasonable increase in price? Because I think we can. So again, I'm asking, Do you want the registration to go up and then you also want the game prices to go up, or do you want the game prices to go up with no change? Because if the game price goes up, then what you're saying is we go from 10 to 20, but some of the money from that 20 goes to the TOs so they can make the tournament better, which is what I've also been saying. I remember FYM Hot Sauce that sponsored a donut team and they blew up even though they were some small shit ass company. See, yeah, it's exposure. No memes, exposure. Naturally, every tourney is going to be different and pay for different things. Exactly. Like, they're limited to the amount of money that they have. Paying to top players doesn't make the tournament better. The money that they're given, if they get more money, they can do more things. If top players get more money, that just means the top player eats better than you. That's it. OG Capcom players would make more money from money matches than from tournament winnings. Marvel. It's mostly Marvel. That happened this past weekend. Fucking Roundhouse won 12K. Well, he didn't win 12K. He won like 5K, but he had to play a first to 15. He essentially played for like an hour and he got 5K or whatever the amount was that he money matched for. So it's like that's a rare instance. That's not gonna happen all the time. How much is reg fee right now on average? Early early is like maybe 30 for lucky. Normal's between 40 and 50. So if you're saying normal should be going from 50 to 60, I think that's fine because that's in the registration. That's in I'm paying to get into the tournament. Now I have to pay separately to get into the tournament, to play in the tournament. Then they bet 12K. It's between a bunch of people. So like, you know, the two players bet like 5K and then other people bet side bet as well because people are gamblers. People are habitual gamblers. That's how it works. That's how Marvel works. Well, gambling in general works. If you want to get the big sponsors, you need to grind it out with the bodega money. Yeah, you have to go from bodega to Whole Foods to bodega to Whole Foods. No, bodega, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. What's a big ass fucking bougie ass grocery? Is Whole Foods number one at this point? To Amazon. Yeah, let's just call it Amazon. Fuck it. Amazon delivers food now. Give a small business a shot. Yeah, that sounds great. That's fine. Like, then make the registration more. Don't make the game entry more. Like, I want my tournaments to be better. I don't want my top players to eat better. That's essentially it. Make my tournaments better. Don't make my top players eat better than me. Or eat. They already eat better than me. Don't make it so that they're eating more comfortably than me, you know? Because that feels like shit.